Of course, we know that SoftBank is now taking over 80% of WeWork, but Japan is one of the strongest allies of the U.S. Could this, in fact, get some issues with that CFIUS review?
Well, you know what, the SoftBank's and particularly Masayoshi Son's ambitions vis-a-vis WeWork have been known for quite a bit. I mean, if you might recall that back in January we heard that he was planning to acquire a majority stake in the company. At that time, the division fund and a lot of the limited partners have balked it. We also know that internally there's been a lot of opposition, but you could sort of imagine that a lot of the groundwork, especially when it comes to regulatory approval, has probably dates back more than this particular deal. So I think possibly the chances of getting approval are fairly good.
They haven't had a good track record when it comes to getting these things through, right, in terms of not being able to fill 2 board seats. And Uber, because it didn't have CFIUS approval. So does this kind of thing set up a precedent that could suggest that they'd run into trouble?
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure if this is an apples to apples comparison here. Uber was a slightly different issue because of the timing and the restructuring plans that was put in order. WeWork is by all means as a rescue package. You know, SoftBank really had little option but to throw in the hat and give the money to the company. So while they might not get the board seats that they want, you know, of course, Adam Newman still gets the opportunity to appoint 2. By any standard, with 80% ownership and being the sole financier of the company, Son is in full control of WeWork.
So we know that SoftBank has its own issues, right, with Masayoshi Son and trying to set up his second vision fund. How much of a distraction will this be, trying to get this deal passed through CFIUS?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we know that Sprint has occupied years of Masayoshi Son's time, even though originally it was planned as a very quick acquisition and then a merger with T-Mobile, but instead it dragged out into a 3-4 year battle that he personally admitted was a major drag on his bigger ambitions. Now that WeWork is going to be on SoftBank's balance sheet, at least, you know, in terms of operations, it's a good question whether he will delegate most of that work to Marcelo Claure, who of course has a good track record turning around Sprint and his past at Brightstar, or whether it's going to eat up more of his personal time and distract him from more other pressing issues like the 80 other companies on the Vision Fund that also need money and probably operational support, and whose prospects in this shrinking, you know, free cash flow markets are increasingly uncertain.